Hi, welcome to this second video that gives an overview of Prince2. In this video I'm going to talk about the principles of Prince2. First I will just show you the structure of Prince2, and it's inside the project environment, and there are 7 themes and 7 principles. So from the outside it looks really simple, and it actually is, but today we're going to deep dive a bit into the principles. On the next slide here you can see the 7 principles. And I'm going to go through them one by one, but first we can just have a look at the names here. The first one is called continued business justification, the next one learn from experience, and then define roles and responsibilities. That's always a good idea. Then manage by stages and manage by exception, focus on product and tailor to suit the product environment. I'm going to jump right into the business case here. Prince2 is really focusing on business case. If you don't have a good business case, you should close the project. That's really simple. And each time you pass through a phase in the different phases you have in the project manager must ensure that the business case is updated, and the project board will check that it is updated. And it's not a business case is not a static document that you make in the beginning of the project and then print it out and put it in the folder and store it. It's a document that's updated all the time. Let's move on to the next one, and that's one of my favorites. Learn from experience. When I first learned about project management, I was taught that you make a project evaluation at the end of the project, and then you can use those the learning points from that in the next project. But Prince2 takes it a step further. They actually in the first document that's produced in the beginning of the project, they have a special section called Lessons Learned Incorporated, and in all the reports and documents that are produced throughout, or not in all of them, but in most of them, there are room for lessons learned, so you can track them or capture them all the time. And then of course you make when you finalize the project, you make a final lessons learned report where you can capture it all. So I think that's a really sound principle. But let's take the next one, and that's defined roles and responsibilities. It's really hard to argue that you shouldn't have defined roles and responsibilities. I have done project management in several companies, and even though it's no matter if it's a large company or a small company, most of the companies you bring in people in the project, maybe in the project team, maybe in the steering group, and maybe they don't know their roles. So it's really good to have a reference like the Prince2 manual and see, tell people that you're sitting in the project board, and if you look at the manual here, you can see that you are accountable for doing these things. Do you think that's okay? And if they say it's okay, then you can act according to those rules. And it really gives you some power that you know the rule of the game. So I think it's really good. But they also in Prince2 they also talk about that they have three different types of stakeholders, and that's business, user, and supplier. The business is the one that sponsors the project, and the users are the people that use the product deliveries, and the supplier is the company organization that provide the resources and expertise. And it can be an internal supplier, or it can be an external supplier. So, yes, that's all about the roles and responsibility for now. The next one is organization. And they divide the project management into 3 levels of organization. Actually, there are 4, you can see here. There's the corporate or program management. Not all companies have a program management organization. Maybe that's just the corporate. But the corporate will pass on some projects to the project board, and then the executive in the project board will assign a project manager that manages the project, do the daily project management, and the project manager can hand over work packages to the team manager. I'll just show you one more diagram here, where you can see the role of in different levels of the project. They don't have any specific role names here up in the corporate and program management, but if you look at the project board here, in other methods I've heard the project board called a steering group, but it's the same thing. You have the executive, and you can also call that a sponsor, but you don't do that in Prince2. It's the executive, and that's the guy that's responsible for the business case, and responsible for ensuring that it's a sound project. Then you have the senior user, and they represent the users that are going to use the project deliveries. And then you have the senior supplier. They represent the supplier that deliver the people and resources for delivering the products in the project. And below the project board you have a project manager, and in some organization you also have a change authority that can approve changes. If the project manager is very lucky, you have project support that can help him or her with the administrative stuff. And then beneath the project manager there are a team manager or some team managers. It's not a mandatory role that you have a team manager, or maybe the role could be fulfilled by the project manager if you don't have a lot of teams under the project manager. And then under the team manager there's the team members. And then the final role over here, that's it's called assurance. Project assurance is they are like doing, you can say it's sort of quality control, or is a project manager following the rules that you have on doing projects in your company. So that's what they are doing. Yes, I hope that gave you some kind of understanding of how projects are organized in Prince2. I will move on to the next theme, and that's managed by stages. It's very simple. I think most of you have seen it before, but you have here a stage gate model. you just start up with a pre-project, then you have a initiation state, and after that you have some subsequent delivery stages or a state. You can see there's a S here in brackets, and that means you can have one or you can have more, and then you have the final delivery. And then the project manager do the work in a stage, and then before the project can move on, the project manager needs an approval from the project board, and then when they approve the plan for the next stage can be done, and then a new approval is needed. And then there's something called planning horizon, and that is like when you start up a project, you could make a plan like the one down here, or similar to this one, where you can tell the project board that this is how we're going to run the project. We have a pre-project where we're going to make the first documents, and then the project board can approve that, and then you have an initiation state, and then but the thing about this one is that you, in the end of each stage, you make a detailed plan for the next stage. You don't start here when you know nothing and say here's the detailed plan for the entire project. So the length of the stages is actually depend upon how much how long your planning horizon is. So yeah, that's all about managing by stages. And then when I learned about Prince2, this one was new to me, managed by exception, and I love it. It's fantastic. It's very closely linked to the word tolerances, because Prince2 talk about tolerances on all the six objectives they have. Like there's a tolerance, you can say tolerance on time, cost, quality, scope, risk, and benefit. And a tolerance in real life would look something like you could present a plan for the steering group and say, I will do the coming, when I say I mean the project manager, I will do the next phase and I will finish it in January. And then when you say January, if you deliver it the 1st of January, it's fine, but you can also deliver it in the middle of January, because you have just promised the steering group that you will deliver it in January. And if there comes up different small issues that force the project manager to change the schedule a bit, like so it just moves around, the end moves around in January, then the project manager don't need to ask the project board for approval of changing the plans. And it's the same for cost. If the project board has approved that the coming phase should cost between 1 million and 1.2 million, then that's a tolerance that the project manager can operate within. But there are tolerances in all the layers that we saw on the previous slide, the managing layers. Like the project board have some tolerances given from the corporate, and then of course, as I talked about before, the project manager will have some tolerances from the project board, and then the team managers will have some tolerances from the project manager. So that's how it works. The next one is focus on products. Other models I've worked with focus on work. Maybe when you plan, you start writing up all the work that needs to be done, but in Prince2 you do it differently. You focus on what do we actually need to deliver, and then afterwards you find out what work needs to be done to deliver the products. And then they have some very precise definitions on output, outcome and benefit. The output of a project is actually the products. The outcome is the result of the change that the products deliver. And an example of that I heard is like, if you have a project that needs to deliver a school, then the output of the project would be the school, and the outcome would be that you have better educated children, for example. Like the benefits for that would be that you can see that people in the area earn more money or are more happy, something like that. So, and here's another example from the manual on what output, outcome and benefits are. Yeah, they also write that the benefits are measurable. So yes, that's all for products. Let's move on to tailor to suit the product environment. That's also a really good principle. When I started doing project management, I was working with software, and we were just doing it like very iterative, doing Scrum and stuff like that, and then I got forced into this model a bit like Prince2 with stages and risk analysis and stakeholder management, and I tried to do it. I took the manual and did it all, and it took a long time to start up a project. But maybe it wasn't necessary to do like a full-blown risk analysis and stakeholder management. So what this principle actually says is that you should look at the project you have, and then look at the manual and say what is suitable for my project, how big is it, and then you should just use what you can use on your project. And that's why the Prince2 is very scalable. Yeah, it's actually what is written here. It's size, complexity and risk. That's some of the things that you can do when you decide what you want to use from Prince2. Yeah, and I heard an example on how another way of thinking about tailoring. It's like when you drive a car, if you want to go uphill, then you on a very steep hill, maybe you have to drive in second gear, but if it's downhill, maybe you don't have to turn on the engine at all. So you really need to find the right tools and techniques. Yeah, this is actually the last slide. Now it's a small test. Can you remember the first principle that I told about? It's yeah, I don't know if I should give some hints. It starts with a B, but it's something with business case. Yeah, business justification. And the next one is learn from experience. The third one is defined roles and responsibilities, and then manage by stages. And then the next one is something with management too. It's something you have to manage with an E. Can you remember it? It's managed by exception. And the sixth one is focus on products, and then the last one is tailored to suit the environment. That's all from me for now. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have some comments, maybe I said something wrong, you can write beneath this one, make some comments, and if you think I said something that makes sense, you can also comment on that. But bye bye for now.